This video continues with a discussion on the bug collection. The difference, though, is that we're going to use the try except exception statements to check the data type so that if a user enters the wrong information, the program does not crash or abruptly halt. So what we're going to use is the try except statements. For how many days we're planning to collect the bugs, as well as the user entering the actual number of bugs. Try except. Okay, so we're going to express this in Python as we did in the previous example. So we'll be adding these statements. So wherever we're entering numerical data, that is what we wish to check. The best way, or one way rather, an efficient way, would be to say check data type, and for negative input relating to the number of days or non-days of variable. So we're going to say while it is true. You notice when I press the enter key at line 16, it automatically went down one line and it indented. So we have to make sure. I'm going to say try, and what we want to do is try having the user to enter the number of days. If they do not enter a numerical value, the program will not crash. So because we're putting this exception error in here, except value error. If there is an error, we need to give them a message. Print. You entered the wrong data type. Enter a positive whole number. Now, if you think this statement is too long, we can move it down one line. I'll put a backslash letter N there so it moves down one line. Press the enter key. Continue. That's what tells the computer to allow the user to re-enter the value again. Okay. So we're checking for the data type on the try except. Else, let's check for negative value. If non-days is less than or equal to 0, enter a positive value numerical value, or use a whole number. Let's say enter a positive whole number. Only. Continue. Else, break. This is what we're doing here. This is our checking the data type. While it's true, let's try this. If it's wrong, tell them it's the wrong data type. Enter positive number. Just say I can put it here. You enter a negative value. And we can move this down one line. Okay. Okay, so let's go back and look at our code. We're checking the data type and for negative input relating to the num-days variable. So on this first one, we're definitely checking the data type. Check the data type. This one here, we're checking for negative values. Check for negative inputs. Okay. And of course, you put the print there. You enter the wrong number. I use a new line, so it'll display this line and then move down to another line. And everything is so running and running over and moving down another line and so on. Okay, so let's run the program now. Run. Enter the number of days. Okay, so I put in an 8, but I accidentally put in a Z, and it says, oh, you entered the wrong data type. Enter a positive whole number. Accidentally put in a negative value. It says you entered a negative value. So when you put in this exception error, or routine rather, it tells the computer to check to make sure that what you're entering is a number. Now, in the past, when we don't do that and we run the program, it gives us a value error message. Here, we are eliminating this from happening because when you write code or you're doing an app, you don't want the app to crash because you put the wrong information. You want to allow for individuals to put the wrong information in, and then you have to prompt them to put in the right information. Put in 8, enter the number of days. If I put in a 89, I accidentally put an A in there, now the system crashes again because I need to go back and do the same thing for the bugs. I need to check the information for that. Actually, the same thing I wrote here, I'm going to copy and I'm going to write here. And I'll just make some changes. Let me move this over some. I'm going to go to Format, Indent the Region. And I'm checking the data type for negative input as it relates to the bugs variable this time. So while it's true, I'm gonna put in bugs here, not num days, and bugs, because I'm trying to analyze the bugs. And I'm going to get rid of this because the computer would give me an error message saying, no, you've got this here. I don't know what it stands for. So I'm going to get rid of that. I am going to say, okay, let's make sure this is all lining up correctly. If it's not, we're going to have all kinds of issues. Okay, so this is right. This is okay. I'll just take this break out. Alrighty. So what we're going to do is write down here this and the if. This is ending the try except statements. And this one ends the while true. It's important for you to know where things begin and where it ends. The last indented statement of each of these control constructions decides where things end. So you see there's redundancy here. Later on, we're going to take this and make it into a function and just call the function or the module. Yes, both of these statements relating to the data type are the same. The difference is the variables are different. So later on, you're going to learn how to create a function and use that function to check the data type. In the meantime, you see the redundancy of having to do this. If I had 7 different input statements, I would have to add these statements 7 different times, and that is not an efficient way to program. So in the next few videos to come, you will learn how to create a function and eliminate this redundancy of checking the data type by using the try except statement along with a while loop. Let's run the program. Enter the number of days. I meant to put in 6, but I added a there. And then I accidentally put in a negative value. It tells me I put a negative value. Now that's because of my try except messages. And now I'm going to enter 6. Number of books for day 1, I put 23, but I accidentally added an exclamation point up there. It tells me that's the wrong data type. If it's not a numerical value, it's the wrong data type. The computer looks at this as string or alphanumeric input, and it says that will not work. I'll put in, it says I entered a negative number for the number of bugs, so I put in 13 one day. I can continue on. 25, 42, 55, 86, and 78 for the 6th day. And so now you're going to see the bug collections. There were 301 bugs collected for 6 days. The average number of bugs collected for 6 days is 50. So this program differs in that we added the try exception. What you have to be very careful of is when you're dealing with control constructions, whatever the controls are, the statements that has to be executed, if those control constructions are true, they must be indented. Try except, but try this, that has to be indented. Exception is indented here also. As you program the computer, you're going to understand a little bit better about your indentions. And it comes with practice. So practice, keep practicing until you understand what you're doing. Feel free to look through this program as often as you need to. You may review it as often as necessary.